We can speak a bit today about, I suppose you can call it the doctrine of the devil. Few people on earth, it seems, live watchfully and carefully analyzing for where Satan is and what Satan is doing, and Satan's plans in their lives, the people around them. Could this friend be sent from the devil? Could this girlfriend, boyfriend be sent from the devil, boss? The Bible specifically warns us about the devil and gives us specific instructions how to live carefully regarding our enemy. So let's go through these scriptures at the top there. And the great dragon was thrown down, the ancient serpent who was called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. Now pause there. You see he is called a deceiver, a liar. He was thrown down to earth and his angels were thrown down with him. Observe, his angels were thrown down with him and he is on earth. Okay, second one. You are of your father the devil. I think this is Jesus speaking to certain people. Look, he calls people, you are of your father the devil, and your will is to do your father's desires. Here we see people on earth who are of the devil, their will is to do his desires. Now specifically watch out here in the second part here, watch this. He was a murderer from the beginning, and he does not stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. So look here, a cornerstone of the devil is there's no truth in him, he's a murderer. His children, people around you, look out for this, liars. This is a cornerstone of someone who could be of the devil, a child of the devil, sent to the devil, blinded by the devil to do his work. When he lies, it says, he speaks his own character. He speaks out of his own character, for he is a liar and the father of lies. So it shows here, watch out for liars. This is a key trait that this person is of the devil, doing the devil's work, whatever variation, and this can be of great danger to you. He disguises himself as an angel of light, the most beautiful young lady, the most attractive young man, the nicest, sweetest old lady, grandma, whoever, could be disguised to do Satan's work. Watch out for people that are very attractive, very charming, but what they do and what they say, you can see is clearly of the devil. So the next video clip is specifically about identifying evil women, someone you want to marry, someone you're courting, dating, that you're seeing danger signs. Obviously, pre-identification, be it man or woman, for marriage one day is extremely important, but these principles apply to all kinds of humans and people in your life, so watch out and listen. This is extremely important.
How will God warn you when an evil woman is in your life? What signs will be present when a woman is being used by Satan to attack you? Here are 4 biblical marks God will highlight to you as a warning that a woman is evil and sent by Satan to do you harm. Number 1, an evil woman sent by Satan will be marked by chaos. Whenever God is involved, things get more ordered. 1 Corinthians 14:33 explains, "For God is not a God of confusion, but of peace."
Okay, this first point here, an evil woman will be marked by chaos. Now, this is not just for women. This is for a man as well. This is for a boss as well. This is for a friend as well. When those people come into your life, even how charming and nice they seem, do things degenerate in a sinful way? Do they lead you into sexual immorality, swearing, fighting, outbursts of anger? Are there lots of fights and anger and confusion? A woman or a man or a boss or a friend of God is there to lead you in the right ways first and foremost. I'm not saying the person must not challenge you if you are doing things wrong, but do they first and foremost seek the principles of God and try and apply it in the relationship? And is there a mark of peace and love and harmony? So obviously there can be no peace, love and harmony if you guys are disagreeing on God's principles, but then you shouldn't be associating with them as well. So anyone in your life marked by chaos and fighting and confusion is a sign of someone doing the devil's work. Run.
Thus, whenever Satan is involved, he always tries to create chaos and disorder. For example, if you had boundaries between work and your personal life, if a woman is being used by Satan to attack you, the drama she is bringing into your life will begin to bleed into your work hours. If you used to have healthy relationships with your friends and family, a woman being used by Satan will come in and complicate every other relationship that is important to you. If your thought life was peaceful, a woman being used by Satan will cause you to have chaotic thoughts. A godly woman, however, helps bring more order. She has a way of decreasing the drama, not increasing it. A wife from the Lord knows how to manage a household, taking what you give her and multiplying it into something even better. As it says of the Proverbs 31 woman, she looks well to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness.
The problem is so many people come out of such chaotic families where their parents are screaming and fighting and cheating and lying and scamming to such a degree they don't even know what God's kingdom is. They think that's normal. If these signs are prevalent and you do not take action to leave those friends, to leave that man, to leave that girl, to leave that boss, the problem is people do not take action and then they cry out to God and pray to God, oh help me Lord, oh help me Lord, but they're not doing the obvious thing. They are not leaving them. Then you are choosing it. You have not taken action, so you deserve to sit in that boat you find yourself in. Leave them and run. There are great and wonderful friends and wives and husbands and bosses out there, but not for the person who does not take action.
Number 2, an evil woman sent by Satan will have no regard for the covenant bond of marriage. Satan hates marriage because it glorifies the Lord. Thus, Satan will try to use evil women to attack marriages in at least 2 ways. First, Satan will try to use these women to ruin marriages that already exist. She will use her physical beauty and earthly charm to prey on weak husbands. Proverbs 30:20 says, "This is the way of an adulteress. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I have done no wrong." Second, Satan will use evil women to ruin marriages by trying to use them to prevent men from ever getting married in the first place. She will tempt a man into sex, getting him attached, use him for whatever she can get out of him, and then leave him in the dust. Proverbs 31 verse 3, "Do not give your strength to women, your ways to those who destroy kings." When you meet the right woman, your efforts will not be wasted. You will pursue her, and she will want to honor the Lord with you in marriage. Number 3, an evil woman sent by Satan will be marked by a rebellion towards relationship roles. The first attack Satan used on the human race was focused on their relationship roles. 1 Timothy 2:13 through 14, "For Adam was formed first, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman was deceived and became a transgressor." Many people try to claim that the male leadership roles in the Bible were cultural and thus no longer apply to us. However, this passage links relationship roles to creation, not culture. God made Adam to lead. Satan deceived the man and woman by tempting them both to let Eve lead. Adam was just as guilty as Eve. 1 Timothy 2:13 through 14 is simply highlighting the way in which Satan attacks couples through tempting the man with passivity and the woman with domineering attributes. This means there will always be a battle in the fallen female human heart towards men. She will want to rule her husband rather than follow him in respect. When she succeeds in ruling him, she actually loses because she misses out on the blessing of her husband's sacrificial love and leadership. And when she tries to dominate and fails, she loses again because the sin in a man will often try to dominate her back and rule over her with force, which is also sinful and wrong. Thus, only when a man and woman are transformed through Christ can they function as God designed them. A man is to love his wife in a gentle and sacrificial way, and the wife is supposed to respect her husband in loving submission.
Wonderful quote here by Paul Washer. Treat your wife better than you treat anything or anyone. That is your covenant with God. That is your first ministry. Your first ministry, to love her the way Christ loves the church, is a high calling. If you fail at that, you've failed at everything. Now, I also want to say a woman must fulfill her role first and foremost to her husband and the family as well. That is first and foremost, and from that, things can flow out of that family. Another quote here, Ladies, hear this. If a man isn't following God, he isn't fit to lead. If he doesn't have a relationship with God, he won't know how to have a relationship with you. If he doesn't know God, he doesn't know real love. If he cannot love God, if he hates the living God of the universe, he will never be able to love you. It is ridiculous, all these people marrying non-Christians. If they hate the living God, the Bible says God is love. If they cannot love God, they will never be able to love you over the long term. In the beginning, it might seem amazing, but it will end up a disaster. Watch this next video clip. I think just being friends is underrated. It's terrible that people want to date so many people. A person only needs to marry one person. You only need to find one person. You need a lot of great friends. Rather be friends with a lot of people than this culture of trying to date everyone.
One of the most subtly hurtful and quietly damning of all remarks, perhaps sweetly delivered on the doorstep at the end of a long evening, with the taxi still hovering somewhere just out of sight, is the suggestion that we should in the end probably remain just good friends. We know exactly what to understand by this. The path towards a tender future is being gently but firmly closed off. We are, with a smile, being shunted into the category of the failed, the ignored, and the lightly despised. The other must in some way have worked out the despicable truths about us, all the ones that we tried so hard to disguise and even to believe didn't exist, and has logically decided to take their leave. We return, crushed, to an apartment which we had left with butterflies and elevated hopes only a few hours before. We hear the invitation to a friendship as synonymous with insult because our romantic culture has continuously, from a young age, made one thing sharply clear to us. Love is the purpose of existence. Friendship is the paltry, depleted consolation prize. Though this seems like unsurprising common sense, what should detain us and encourage us to probe a little at the claims made on love's behalf is one basic source of evidence: the behavior, level of satisfaction, and state of mind of those engaged in love. If we were to judge love chiefly by its impact, by the extent of the tears, the depths of the frustrations, the viciousness of the insults that unfold in its name, we wouldn't continue to rate it as we do, and might indeed mistake it for a form of illness or aberration of the mind.
This is so true. It is shocking how bad average relationships are. Not even bad relationships. Average relationships are terrible. Look at your friends, family members, people of the past, young people, old people. Look how terrible, bad, and average dating or marriage relationships are. Rather not do it. It is far better staying single your whole life than being in an average or bad relationship. It is far worse than being single.
The scenes that typically unfold between lovers would scarcely be considered imaginable outside of conditions of open hostility. Those we love, we honour with our worst moods, our most unfair accusations, our most wounding insults. It's to our lovers that we direct blame for everything that's gone wrong in our lives. It's they we expect to know everything we mean without bothering to explain it. It's to their minor errors and misunderstandings that we respond with sulks and rage. And, by comparison, in friendship, the supposedly worthless and inferior state whose mention should crush us at the end of a date, we bring our highest and noblest virtues. Here we are patient, encouraging, tolerant, funny, and most of all, kind. We expect a little less and therefore, by extension, forgive an infinite amount more. We don't presume that we will be fully understood and so treat failings lightly and humanely. We don't imagine that our friends should admire us without reserve and stick by us whatever we do, and so we put in effort and behave, pleasing ourselves as well as our companions along the way. We are, in the company of our friends, our best selves. Paradoxically, it's friendship that offers us the real route to the pleasures that romanticism associates with love. That this sounds surprising is only a reflection of how underdeveloped our day-to-day vision of friendship has become. We associate it with a casual acquaintance we see once in a while to exchange inconsequential and shallow banter. But real friendship is something altogether more profound and worthy of exaltation. It is an arena in which two people can get a sense of each other's vulnerabilities, appreciate each other's follies without recrimination, reassure one another as to their value, and greet the sorrows and tragedies of existence with wit and warmth. Culturally and collectively, we have made a momentous mistake which has left us both lonelier and more disappointed than we ever needed to be. In a better world, our most serious goal would not be to locate one special lover with whom to replace all other humans. It would be to put our intelligence and energy into identifying and nurturing a circle of true friends.
One extremely important thing to say here is you get Christian friendships and you get worldly friendships. Worldly friendships that lead people into sexual immorality, substance abuse, violence, all kinds of sin. And the true great friendships, Christian friendships. I must mention here, it might sound like I'm speaking against marriage. It is obviously fantastic and a great blessing from God to have a wonderful marriage partner. But what I'm actually saying, and I think what the story is saying, that in our society, great friendships and putting a lot of effort in this is not that valued as romantic relationships. And I think even if you have the most amazing spouse, if you have no friends and you have not put in a lot of effort into finding great friends and developing those relationships, you are still lacking hugely. Friendships are extremely important for married and non-married people.